Someone said it best. My most favorite review so far was, "It was awesome. I had the best time in the theater, and I hope to God Marvel never does anything like this ever again."
I feel like that's the whole point of this. Well, the critics' reviews are in for Deadpool and Wolverine, and William Bibiani hates it. So, what does that mean overall? Mike doesn't like anything Marvel. He just loves DC, so he probably hates it, and he hasn't even seen it. But we'll find that out also. Speaking of Mike, he's going to be taking a trip to San Diego Comic-Con, so he and I will be going over all the things that are happening at San Diego Comic-Con in Hall H. What are we going to expect? What can we see? What kind of footage might pop up? And how upset is he that DC's not doing a panel? Steph's not here today. She'll be back next week, but we are going to be diving into all of it. So let's do it, man. It's the big thing. It's myself and Mike Kalinowski. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is the big thing, and it is Wednesday on the eve, well, I guess preview night for Comic-Con. Mike Kalinowski is literally going to be taping this and then on the road to San Diego. So join us each and every week here, or every day, really. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found, and of course, you can subscribe to the channel right now. Joining me right before he leaves to San Diego is Mike Kalinowski. Are you excited?
Very, yeah. Why do I got two of me now? Not that I complain. I love seeing two of me.
No one sees two of you except you, but go ahead and call it out. So you're psyched. You're going to San Diego Comic-Con. You're going on the road. Who are you going with this time? It's no Roca this time, right?
He's always like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be there. I don't know if I'm going to go. Because he lives in San Diego now.
Right. He doesn't take the ride with you guys anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't take the ride, and so he might show up for a few days. Who knows?
Okay. So you going with you and Vogel and Shannon?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, that's a fun trip.
Yeah, the boys.
Who's the best in the car? Who's the worst in the car?
As far as what?
In general, who's farting in there? Who needs to pee all the time? Who's the worst?
I think we're all pretty even.
Okay.
We could make it down there if we wanted to in one trip, but we usually stop off and get something to eat. And
so it's not that bad. It's a fun trip.
Oh no, it's a good trip. Yeah, we don't have any. No, we don't have anyone that's sitting in the car that. Oh Christ, there's gonna be a problem.
So you and Mike Vogel will just be arguing about DC and Marvel the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah.
The entire time.
So you're excited about the panels. You're gonna be doing the Hall H. What is a typical what are you going to be doing this time around?
I don't know if Hall H is always a throw up because I don't like waiting in those lines.
You don't have to though if you're press.
I don't have a press badge.
You can get you in there.
I'm a professional.
Well, I can get you
professional.
Well, I can get you in there if you want.
Oh, well, very nice of you.
Yeah, or maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how this show goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we do any of that, let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, because I know you're very excited about this movie.
What's up?
Who said this to me? I was on the phone with somebody yesterday, and they just said it's hilarious watching Mike Kalinowski because he's like two different people one on Twitter and then the one that you see, as where Roka's pretty much the same all the way around, But you're like two different people, and you definitely.
Who said that? I want to know.
It doesn't matter, but you go in there to stir up some shit is what you do when you go
online
on Twitter. You love stirring the pot.
Of course,
you love it.
I love it.
You love it. So you knew it where that was going to do that, where you kind of aligned with Bibiani, and you haven't even seen him. Oh, come on.
No.
All
Let's
right.
be fair. Let's not gaslight.
Yeah.
I said, hey, it's interesting to see. I've got these two vastly different views. My timeline, the night the social media reaction was, first one would be like, greatest movie of all time. Nothing else is great. This is a masterpiece. Right after that, bullshit Drek. Please God, never make another one of these.
Wow.
And that's how it was. My entire timeline.
You knew that was coming.
But it's like, it's wash, rinse, repeat with all these movies. It's the greatest of all time. It's the greatest since Endgame. And on the other end, it's awful. It's a cameo fest that's just fan service, blah, 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 blah. Because people want they want their soundbite thrown up on the thing. So whichever one they go in the vastly different directions.
All right. Well, let's talk about the news here then, about what the reviews are, and we'll read it off here on Dark Horizons. Following the reactions, the professional critics reviews are now in, and with 120 reviews counted. Marvel Studios' Deadpool and Wolverine now sits at 79%. It's a 7.1 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. That puts it on par with last year's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and the first Ant-Man film. In other words, midterm tier Marvel. Compared to its own franchise, though, it's only a little bit behind the 85% of the first Deadpool and the 84% of the second. Over on Metacritic, the film sits at a far more mixed, poor 54 out of 100, which is considerably behind the 65 and 66 the first Deadpool films, and actually 1 point less than The Flash from last year. Here's a sample of some of the review quotes. This one from Peter DeBruge on Variety. By far the most fan service sequel released under the Marvel banner. It serves as a welcome corrective to the superhero overload of the past 15 years. This singular mutant satire works best as an irreverent homage to what's come before, as opposed to the prototype for future superhero movies. From Amy Nicholson over at the Washington Post, an apology candygram delivered by the two most mouth-puckeringly sour superheroes Marvel now owns. Deadpool represents what mainstream Marvel flicks couldn't do: make a hard R-rated movie with more curses per minute than a convention of witches. Here's what they have to do to win back an audience who's outgrown them. Deadpool and Wolverine rescues something of beautiful from the ugliness that superhero movies have perpetuated for so long, not visually, of course, but in several other key respects. David Ehrlich. Now, this is also from Liz Shannon Miller, former Schmoedown competitor. Deadpool and Wolverine is serviceable in its worst moments and a lot of fun when it's really cooking. Yet, if our expectations for Deadpool and Wolverine include a clean explanation of where the Marvel multiverse stands, perhaps lower them. Yeah, that's fair.
See, now that's a valid thing. Like, this is the thing that's supposed to reset everything, but if people are saying
it doesn't really. It gives options. But
then that's the problem, because we're all going into this thinking this is what resets.
Yeah,
this kind of sets us off.
But they never said that. Hold on, let's
come
finish.
on now.
Hold on, listen. Deadpool and Wolverine may not be as cohesive as many other better Marvel movies, but only one or two can match in terms of pure joy and reverence for the genre. Fans will absolutely adore it, and even non-fans should, at the very least, marvel at it. I think that's a pretty fair assessment from Jermaine. But let me get to this ton of them, but we'll get to this last one here. So this is, of course, from
Oh no! What are you
William
doing?
Bibbiani. A shameless piece of self-congratulation fueled by self-cannibalism, as the studio, which built its identity on superhero crossovers, finally abandons the pretense of trying to justify them dramatically. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Deadpool and Wolverine begins unrolling shortly in select territories and will hit the U.S. on Friday. Okay,
See, but none of those reviews were like it's a masterpiece.
yeah, those particulars. Well, this is why I wanted to read Jermaine's in particular, because I think he's right. I think it's going to be a very kind of similar thing to Super Mario Brothers, right?
Okay.
Super Mario, well, maybe a little bit less. Super Mario Brothers was killed by the critics. Killed.
Yeah.
And Bibbiani hated that movie too. And I liked that movie. I thought the movie was a fun movie.
I never saw it.
I think the fans loved that movie. The fans loved Super Mario Brothers.
Massive hit.
Fans are going to love this movie. They're going to love this movie.
No doubt.
Now, yeah, but it's not always. Marvel hasn't been finding that the fans have loved all their movies, but they're going to love this one. I happen to agree that it's a bit messy at times. I think that it's a really fun movie. My review of it was that it absolutely kind of overshadows itself with humor sometimes over the heart, but when the heart hits, it works. Hugh Jackman is the reason why you watch it in general. I think he does yet another stellar job as Wolverine. I think the cameos matter. I think they're fun. I don't think it's one of these things that you were worried about where you just like, oh, look at that, yay! I think they actually make them matter. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie, and I think that it's going. I think out of the one, I mean, there were a ton of other ones. I agree with Liz Shannon Miller, what she said as far as if you're going in thinking that, and this is maybe what your point was, a lot of people have been talking about how it was supposed to reset the MCU and really dive into exactly how the MCU and multiverse and all that was going to work.
Right.
Kind of, but not really.
See, but then, okay, so let's just talk about that for a second, because then a lot of people are saying, Marvel's been in a jam and this and that. And Feige was great and said, hey, we got to reset, step back and reset for a second here and assess what worked, what didn't, what we're doing here. But Deadpool was already chugging along. I think the true test of that will be New World Order and Thunderbolts, because those are the ones that were reshoots.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
And if this doesn't tell us where the MCU is going with the multiverse, those two movies certainly aren't going to.
I think that
so where are we going to? And then they're already talking about the mutant sagas coming in. So it's like, did we even get a wrap up to the multiverse stuff? Like, what's going on?
Wrap up? No, because they're going to have the multiverse. The multiverse saga is not going to wrap up until Secret Wars. I mean,
but then why was he already talking about the mutant era?
Because I think, well, I don't want to spoil stuff.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But there's things that you can certainly explain, and there's other things you just go, huh, okay. But what I will say that there was some report. That's why you can't, as you know, you can't always believe all of the headlines that you see. And one of the headlines was how the end credit scene, the post credit scene, was like the most mind blowing credit scene
for this one.
Yeah, that's what was the one.
Dude, stop! Yeah. I don't want to. I'm going to stop you right there. Let me stop you right there.
Go ahead.
Every single Marvel film that comes out, there is some clown. Best post credit scene ever. You cannot believe it. There is some a-hole that always does it. I guess that's why I've gotten kind of soured on these movies, because the rhetoric that comes out of these things. Yeah, like, I remember the Marvels. Marvel did it. You have no idea what's coming with this post-credit scene. It changes the game.
Yeah, it was like, no.
Okay, it's Kelsey Grammer with a fresh coat of paint on.
Like, right.
Yeah, well, that really changed everything for us.
No, and there was one that said this was supposed to be like mind-blowing, unbelievable credit. All I say about this post-credit scene that I give it credit for is it's relevant to the movie. It's not relevant to the overall MCU. It's relevant to the film. Like, it works as a post-credit scene, and it's a fun post-credit scene, and it does, oh, okay, that ties into what this movie was. There's one. There's not two. There's one. And it's not the overall, holy crap, I can't believe they did that. It's, oh, that's a fun bit that explains some stuff that's going on in this movie. But yeah, there was clearly rhetoric with that particular thing. But I do think, though, dude, that people are I think fans are going to really enjoy it, because this is a movie. I think
general audiences are going to love this.
Yes, general audiences are going to love this movie because it's a lot of fun. I took my friend who has not been to the movies since 2019, by the way. He never even saw Endgame. He's only seen Deadpool 1 and 2. And I didn't know if it was going to be completely kind of like a over his head thing. And I'm sure there's jokes that he missed that didn't. There's a lot of inside baseball stuff in this movie, and I'm sure that there was stuff that he missed. But I asked him, I said, "What'd you think?" He goes, "I loved it, absolutely."
No, I think to me this, because I did a poll yesterday on Twitter, because I was very curious, like, where this kind of rabid anticipation for this movie came from, because Deadpool Wolverine were never these great team ups in the comics. Like, Deadpool teamed up with everyone, and I did a poll, and overwhelmingly it was like people were just like, it's Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds. Their chemistry is people and friends. It's like last year with Barbie and Oppenheimer. It was this great random confluence of together that everyone's like, yeah, I got to see this. This is going to be awesome. And this is kind of getting swept up in this hype. So, hey, great. You know, those two guys, as far as actors, are great people. I enjoy watching
Ryan Reynolds is a marketing genius. Ryan Reynolds knows how to get his stuff out there, especially when it comes to this particular movie, and how he marketed overall with Hugh Jackman was genius. So that's where a lot of the hype came from. And the idea of like I'm not going to say that the cameo stuff and the idea of it isn't going to sell it. Like, who are we going to see? Who are we going to do? And that I was definitely worried about that. Like, there is absolutely one or two when you go, oh, well, that's just fun for the bit. And I think that's maybe where Bibiani kind of got soured on it. But then I think that there's something that they do that works really well. And it's like what I've said without ruining anything, that this movie is it's a love letter to the Fox universe.
And that was, I guess, my concern was, like, I think we've talked about on this show, is like, I don't want this to be them just jumping from Fox movie to Fox movie, shitting on the past.
No, they're not.
Excuse my language.
But
back in the day, there was no Twitter in the 2000s with this. Like, we just, some of them were bad, but we just enjoy them because they were comic book movies.
You'll be happy then.
And someone said it best. My most favorite review so far was, it was awesome. I had the best time in the theater, and I hope to God Marvel never does anything like this ever again.
I feel like that's the whole point of this. That they don't need
that review. I was like, because I'm seeing a lot of people go, oh my God, it reminds me so much of No Way Home. And I'm like, okay, if they're going to start doing this where it's every couple of years we bring back, like, I heard this talk now that because they found a way to work with Hugh Jackman, they're going to bring Robert Downey Jr. back, and I was like, sometimes I want characters that are dead to stay dead.
I think so, but I also
just let him die.
Yeah, I think for Secret Wars, because of the nature of that comic book in general, that you're going to see more of it. But I think that at the end of that, I think it's over. I think I think that's the last bit of it. I think once Secret Wars comes out, you're going to get, because there's supposed to be a ton of different characters that come back. And I
Yeah.
think that they
We'll
do
see what
set
happens.
something up in this movie. I actually had someone text me this morning about, like, well, how does that? It didn't really seem to kind of wrap it up. I said, I think that's going to get wrapped up in Secret Wars. And
Okay,
I
we'll
think,
see.
yeah, we'll see. But overall, the critics at 79 or whatever it was, I think
Yeah.
if I'm Disney and I'm Marvel, I'm happy with that, because if you're looking at what this movie's going to make $200 million this weekend domestically. Domestically, it's going to make $200 million.
You think it cracks 2 billion?
Two? No, I don't think
You
it
think
makes
it
two.
beats Endgame?
Nah, it won't beat Endgame.
Okay.
No, but Roku's going to be taking me a steak dinner. I'll tell you that. We had
What's the bet on this?
we had a bet. Well, originally I said it was going to make $1 billion, and he said no way. And then I
Oh, really? He
and-
doesn't think it's gonna hit $1 billion?
When we made this bet months ago,
Months ago.
he said he's like, I don't even think it'll hit 6 something. I go, it'll hit 7 for sure. And he's like, I'll bet you. And we bet on 7. I think it's on 7 or 750. Whatever it is, it's going to do that in a week and a half. So he's already conceded.
I wonder if it hits $1 billion.
Yeah, let $1 billion, dude. It's gonna hit. So it's already. This is a rewatchable movie for people who are gonna love it. It's a rewatchable movie that people are gonna want to see again for certain things that
Okay.
they might have missed. Now, for someone like yourself who's not the biggest Marvel fan, you'll go and you'll see.
Now,
What?
hold on
Go
a
ahead.
second
You're not.
here.
You're not the biggest
No,
MCU.
that's not
oh,
true.
come on. You are. You're a big MCU fan.
Well, if I could show you my room right now, I'd
I
absolutely
didn't
show
say
you.
you.
The
I
fact
didn't
that-
say you're not a Marvel guy. I said you're a big MCU fan.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
You're not hearing me correctly.
All right, here we go.
Because I have my Twitter following and social media presence is based off 2 things:
DC and
Schmodown
Schmodown.
and DC movie news.
Yes, you're welcome.
And you suggested me to Roxy to be on DC movie news. And at the time, there was a show called Marvel Movie News.
Yes.
And I guarantee if I had gone on the Marvel Movie News instead of the DC Movie News, people would say the same opposite thing about me. They'd say, "Oh, he loves Marvel, he hates DC."
Nah, dude, you represent.
let me tell you
Let me
something,
ask you a
champ.
question. Wait, hold on a second. Do you-
Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I love that more than I love The Dark Knight. I'll take it over The
Wow.
Dark Knight any day of the week. So if I'm a DC fan, how do I say that?
Okay, well, I didn't know that. I
Captain
never.
America: Winter Soldier is probably my second favorite comic book movie of all time. All time.
Okay, I
And
never.
probably before that is the Keaton
Interesting.
Batman.
Interesting. I didn't know that about you.
If you tell me, hey Mike,
Hey, Mike.
you can only have Marvel or DC for the rest of your life, comics, movies, video games, I pick DC. 100%.
Right, of course. That's what I mean. When it comes to the movies itself, like you're.
But that doesn't mean I don't like them and I want to
I-
crap
I
on 'em.
didn't
Like,
say
I
you
crap
didn't
on
like
DC
'em.
movies.
All right. Well, yeah. All right. So so it's like Superman. That's got to be one of your most anticipated, right?
Legacy? Or Superman, when it was.
Yeah, the one. That's,
I'm
You
not a
nervous?
Superman guy.
oh, okay. You're more of the Batman
But
guy.
that said, I want an actor and a movie to make me love Superman.
How do you feel about the rumor about Glenn Powell as Batman?
No,
Hate it.
absolutely not.
Hate it.
Because to me, that is the internet bullshit of, oh my God,
Who's
did
the
you
hot
see
guy?
Glenn Powell
Right.
followed Andy Muschietti on Instagram? He's Batman.
No, he had like an interview or
There
or
is
a
a
meeting.
dozen other characters that he would be great.
100%. He could play somebody else. He could play Commissioner Gordon. He could play.
Like he could be,
play
and I know it's spot on, but Hal Jordan after he has Hangman like would be great. Booster
Sure.
Gold he'd be great as.
Yeah,
There's a dozen characters for him in that universe.
Sure.
He's not Batman.
Right. But Deadpool and Wolverine overall, Mike, you're gonna have a big weekend, over $200 million, and the critics. It doesn't matter if the critic score drops to 50. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
This movie's gonna make hand over fist, and whether or not we'll see. We'll see what the
The
audience
big
score
turn.
is.
I mean, I think we'll talk not next week, like 2 weeks from now, to see what their second week is liking, because everyone's gonna see it this weekend.
Yeah.
So let's see if the word of mouth brings new people in that aren't going.
Well, the one thing, like we look at like Twisters, right? Twisters
Yeah.
had a really great opening. It had
Yeah.
a great opening at 80 million or something like that. On no, I
huge.
think something big. It was something big, maybe more than that. But it made a ton of money overseas and everything too, and it had a overperformed. I think 125 actually is what it wound up making.
That's fantastic.
It's fantastic. Now, here's the problem with what they did. They put that movie out a week before Deadpool and Wolverine.
Do you think they went?
You know why else it's besides the obvious reason of why would you want to take away ticket sales? It also takes away all your IMAX screens, and that movie's fun to watch on IMAX. It's gonna,
Yeah. Let me ask you this: do you think that was a tactical thing? Like, you know what? If we go after Deadpool, we're not doing anything. Let's go the week before, grab everything we can, and they got to be happy with their numbers right now.
I mean, what else came out?
But if I think about it, I would rather see Twisters in IMAX than Deadpool in IMAX.
Yeah, that's you. But most
No, it's like
most people
it's
are
a
gonna
matter
want-
of like I'd rather any Mission Impossible movie comes out, I'm seeing that in IMAX.
Sure, but I mean,
Deadpool wasn't shot.
But
for
remember,
IMAX,
this is also
so-
not. But that's not a with the fact that it did whatever. I can't remember if it made 85 or 100, whatever. No, I think what did I think? 85 million on the opening weekend.
You want to see an IMAX.
Sure.
You want to get swept up in the spectacle.
Right, but the hype behind with these movies are significantly different. The hype between Deadpool, where you're looking at a target of almost $200 million, and you can watch it. The majority of the audience who's going to see that would have seen Twisters already in the theater. So I think that the word of mouth of Twisters would have helped more because it's a fun movie. I enjoyed that movie. And I think that movie is, you could have put that movie out against Despicable Me. It's not the same audience. You could have put that movie out a couple of weeks beforehand. I would have put that movie out at least 2 or 3 weeks before Deadpool hit, because you're gonna see a drop of like 55 to 60% on that movie.
But they front loaded so much money. They made a lot. Like
they did, but they could have made more. Yeah.
And again, maybe we're thinking, because back in the day, this movie will play all summer. Like if you can't go see Deadpool, you go see Twisters. Like, where do you put it as far as what would you think or had better fun, Twisters or Fall Guy?
I think, oh man, that's a good question. I liked Fall Guy.
Because I'm still perplexed at how Fall Guy bombed.
I'm not.
No clue.
I'm not perplexed on why it bombed, because of all the different reasons that I've stated before, where Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt are great actors. They're not people who, there's a new Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling movie out. I got to go spend money to go see him. That's part one. Part two, it's a friggin' IP from when we were growing up in the late 70s, early 80s. That's not a... It's a movie that you could easily see on streaming. Twisters is
10 years after it. Not more that long.
More so. Way more, the IP. You mean, you're saying when it came out? Though 20 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't give a crap about Fall Guy. No one's going to Twisters going, I can't wait because I love the first one.
That's not true. I heard...
Get out of here.
That movie has lined up and become this kind of like a classic movie, and they built it off the IP itself. Glenn Powell's also is more of a, right now, kind of a draw. It costs probably around the same amount of money, and it's more, as you said, that's a movie that seems like a summer movie you see in IMAX, as where Fall Guy seems like a movie you could find on Amazon Prime.
Fair point.
I think that's kind of the reason why. Both fun movies. What did I think was more fun? More fun. To answer the more fun question, I say Fall Guy. What do I think is a better movie? I would say Twisters.
Interesting.
I think Twist. I liked the story on Twisters. I liked the. I really liked Daisy Edgar Jones. I didn't know a lot about her. I know she did with Crawdads Sing, and there was another show that my wife used to watch with her that liked, and I thought her chemistry with Glenn Powell was really good. It wasn't as cheesy as I thought it was going to be, but yeah, I mean, they were both good movies. But
I really want to see it. I just haven't had a chance.
Of course,
I'm a big Glenn Powell fan. I really
he's
like
good.
Him, so.
He's really good in that movie. I asked you guys though, what do you think about Deadpool and Wolverine with the critics score? I know the answer to this is no, but put it in the comments anyway. Will the 80%, and it's not the fact that it's in the 90s, will have anything to do with your, okay, I'm not going to see this anymore? And at this point, if you're watching this, if you've come across this show on, let's say, Thursday or Friday after you've seen the movie, what did you think of the movie? Did you like it? Non-spoilers, obviously, as we're going to be doing a lot more here on the tomorrow. We talk about Deadpool and Wolverine with Roxy and Brett, and about her kind of non-spoiler thoughts on it, and then we're going to do a preview with Winston and Coy, and then we have our full spoiler on Monday. So there's a lot of stuff there, and we're going to be doing a full breakdown of all the stuff that comes out of Comic-Con, and Mike and I are going to talk about all the Hall H stuff that's coming out of Comic-Con in just a moment, but it's going to take a lot of energy to do that. And in order to do it, I had some Athletic Greens AG1. That's right, AG1, baby. AG1 is something that I love, and I love Magic Spoon. You know how many times I've talked about Magic Spoon and that it is my source of protein when I want a snack. I'll tell you about both of those right now. Here you go. And I love AG1. You guys know how many times have you heard me talk about AG1, and the reason why, you're like, wow, I'm talking about AG1 for a long time. Yeah, they're great, and they've been around for so long. And I've told you forever, as a busy person, what I do is I drink AG1 in the morning, whether I'm making breakfast and making my coffee, and I feel unstoppable. I really feel good once I have that energy to be able to push forward and do what I need to do. And I cover my nutritional basis. It's awesome. So if you guys, for gut support, it's a key factor in immune system. And if you didn't know that 70% of your immune system, it lives in your gut. So in a research study, AG1 was shown to double the amount of healthy bacteria in your gut. And gut diversity is important in supporting the health of the gut. AG1 contains a wide range of vitamins, minerals, and superfood sourced ingredients. And if there's one product that I trust to support my whole body health, it's AG1. So you know that I've partnered with them, and I've been partnered with them for so long. It's easy and it's satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/bigthing. That's drinkag1.com/bigthing. Go ahead and check it out. I also want to tell you about Magic Spoon. You guys know how much I love Magic Spoon. My daughter this morning, she's like, I want to try Magic Spoon. And I didn't tell her no because, it's an adult cereal and you can't do that. I said, it's mine. Get out of here. You have yours. As a kid, I loved eating cereal. But as an adult, I don't want all that sugar. And most cereals don't give me the protein I need. But with Magic Spoon, it is a nostalgically delicious cereal and it tastes just like my childhood favorites, but it doesn't have that sugar. And it's got a ton of protein, which is awesome. If you guys are already Magic Spoon fans, I saw somebody in the chat today said they just wound up getting it. I got big news for you. Magic Spoon has turned their super popular cereal into high protein treats. They're light, crispy, and taste just like the classic crunchy cereal bars. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are so delicious and they've already become a favorite right before the gym, where you're going to go, like right before work. It's amazing. Every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs so you can feel good about what you're eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa. And there's so many more. I like to mix the cocoa and the peanut butter. And the Magic Spoon's brand new treats, crispy, crunchy, airy, and they're easy way to get 11 grams of protein on the go. For the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter. Ah, love that so much. Yum. So get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/bigthing, or you can look for Magic Spoon in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/bigthing. $5 off. Magic Spoon. Hold on to the dream. Thank you to AG1. Thank you to Magic Spoon. I love them. That's why they've been on the show for as long as they have. I've told you guys many times over that there's a reason why AG1's been with the show so long. There's a reason why Magic Spoon is coming back. And not only is it because I love them and I talk about them because I love them, it's because you guys have been getting them. And when you get them, you get something wonderful for yourself, obviously, but I cannot emphasize enough how much you help this show. You keep this show on the air when you do stuff like that because you tell me you like it. Someone told me yesterday, I just got some Magic Spoon. I want to check it out. I just got some AG1. I'm going to check it out. Do it. And let the English see you do it. All right, let's get to this. All right, Mike. Hall H panels. We got a lot of them coming up. Now, last year's Comic-Con didn't have any of this stuff. And everybody said it's one of the best Comic-Cons of all time. You're talking about how it was just back to basics, but now the industry comes back because of the strikes. They weren't able to do stuff, but now there's stuff. And it reminds me of kind of the 2024 movie season. There's a lot going on, but 2025 is really packed. And I feel like that's what's going to happen next year also, but there is some stuff. Here is the complete Hall H panel schedule by Screen Rant. And we got a lot to discuss. Let's start with this. Hall H panels that are coming up on Thursday. Okay. So July 25th, Mike, you going to go to any of these? Let's see. The first one is Transformers 1. You going to be going to Transformers 1?
Probably not.
Probably not. Paramount Animation and Hasbro Entertainment are going to post a panel discussion and reveal exclusive footage of the upcoming Transformers animated film. There are going to be appearances by Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, Keegan-Michael Key, Academy Award-winning director Josh Cooley, and producer Lorenzo Di Bonaventura. And then right after that, Mike, this is when you're going to be going to 25 years of SpongeBob. You'll be going to this, right?
I'll be waiting out in line overnight.
You won't be going. Nickelodeon is celebrating the 25th anniversary of SpongeBob SquarePants. Cal Mitchell is going to be hosting it. The panel will offer a special look at its origins, yada, yada, yada. Percy Jackson and the Olympians coming into Hall H at 2:15. The Disney Plus original series, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, will make its debut at Comic-Con with a panel that includes Walker Scobell, Leah Sava-Jeffries, Aaron Simidari, and Jonathan E. Steinberg, and Dan Schatz. The panel will reflect on the success of the first season. And then what we do in the shadows is a farewell kickoff, 3:30 to 4:30, and then I guess the favorite vampire roommates kick off their farewell tour at Comic-Con. Then Marvel Studios does their first of 2 panels, the Ultimate Deadpool and Wolverine Celebration. This goes from 6:30 to 7:30. In what is certainly one of the most anticipated panels of San Diego Comic-Con. The Deadpool and Wolverine panel will be held in Hall H on Thursday night before the worldwide release of the movie. It will be one of 2 Marvel panels at San Diego Comic-Con. Attendance was based on an online lottery, which is now closed. All right, so out of Thursday's panels, Mike, what stands out to you?
I did the lottery for the Deadpool. Didn't get it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not gonna worry about it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so but is that the one
What am I gonna do?
as far as
What am I
news,
gonna cry over spilt milk?
yes, as far as news goes, what
Yeah.
if you're
Well, apparently,
yeah.
the talk is that Transformers movie is phenomenal.
I'll tell you what,
That's the rumor.
I've kind of turned a page on it a little bit, where when I saw the trailer and I was watching it as a full on kind of Transformers fan and going, this looks like garbage, and where it had it's a goofy movie. It looks like a goofy, silly movie, and then the more people in the comments like it's for kids, for kids, for kids. I'm like, yeah, I know, but the idea of Chris Hemsworth, where's Peter Cullen, where's all the, I don't know. And I started doing the little, but I went and I saw, this is usually what happens with me. I went and I saw whatever the hell movie I saw. It might have been Despicable Me. I can't remember. And the trailer for this movie played, and I was with my 6-year-old and I was with my 12-year-old, and they both were laughing, and they both were like, my 12-year-old was like, I don't want to see that. That looks good. And I was like, yeah, they're aiming, and they nailed it. I see who they're aiming for, and they nailed it. So if this is what they're going for, and it's a good, if it's a good movie that kids and if it's aimed towards kids and adults can both enjoy it, but understanding that this one is based more for children, then so be it. And like you said, I hear it's pretty good, and well, I mean, yeah, I always like to, what I don't ever want to do on this channel is just because I think something initially goes, oh man, it looks terrible, and you gotta stay that it's terrible. If it turns out to be good, I'm gonna say that it was good. But I'm still waiting for the beginning of Bumblebee. The beginning of Bumblebee, that movie, Bumblebee in general, that movie is good, but the beginning of that movie, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that kind of movie with Transformers again. I always had this idea of what I thought Transformers could be, and Aaron Wilhelm and I, mutual friend of ours, we wrote something way before the Michael Bay thing came out about Transformers and how it kind of based off the original one, and we always have been hoping. And then Michael Bay got a hold. To me, Michael Bay tainted it. He tainted the Transformers in general. I mean, Paramount will tell you otherwise with the amount of money that he put into their pocket. But I'm curious to see how this one turns out. And the panel will be fun because you're going to have you got a good stacked cast. I don't know. I think that the Deadpool one, is there anything that's going to come out of that? I mean, you assume Wolverine.
I'm assuming it's going to be a screening afterwards.
Oh, you think so?
Because they said originally they took it down. It was like 6:30 to 9:30.
Oh.
So I think they're going to go, hey, why don't you come join us at the park next door with your Deadpool?
You're right.
Light up sabers, and we're going to go watch the movie.
You're probably
That's
right.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the people
we get to watch it with those guys, so that'd be pretty awesome.
The people
but
that
like,
are there.
I love how they did that. I love it was a lottery.
Yeah.
You didn't have to wait in line and get there and waste your whole day trying to get in line. I wish every hall, everyone's always like, well, how do you solve the Hall H problem? One, you put it in the Petco Park next door and let everyone go to it. But that defeats the purpose, or it's a lot. Or you do a lottery for every big hall and you clear the room.
Yeah, people waiting on that line, stinking up the joint and doing all that. It's
the
hard.
line.
It's like almost
they have it down. They have it down pat.
It's
they know
inhuman.
What they're doing.
It's inhuman.
Not chaos, but you lose the whole day.
It's the
worst. A lot of
worst.
times for me, Hall H, because they always put Marvel at the very end.
Yeah.
And a lot of times before, DC was the first. But DC's not going to be there this year.
Right. They would do Friday, or sometimes, or then they started doing where Friday, where DC
No, it was always WB was started Hall H on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah. But then they would put these random things in the middle that you have to sit through, and you're just like,
I thought it was always Friday.
I wish they would, like, every big panel do a lottery.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And another thing, I think to make it fair, like, if you get one, you don't get the other. Like, if you win the lottery for Marvel, you don't get to enter the DC lottery.
Yeah, that's hard.
And that makes it fair for people. If they're going to try and make
choose
it fair
which
for
one.
everyone.
Yeah, choose which one. I mean, there is when you get lucky to where I guess the last, because I remember the first couple of years we covered Comic-Con with Schmoes. Both Christian Ruvalcaba and Cody Hall just waited online for us to get in there. But then once we I think it was after the first year, we started to, because of press, we started to just be able to get in. Yeah. And it was, Hall H is fun. And Hall H, I remember it's fun. It's fun. We sat in there. We sat in there for a while with certain little things that we went, Ellis and I would cover a bunch of stuff. But I think Thursday's always been okay, what's the one thing that's going to stand out? It looks like that's going to stand out. The Percy Jackson thing, I think the Percy Jackson is going to have a pretty good turnout from the loyalty of that fan base and from what people are saying. They really
love that show.
They really love that
People
show, and it
watching
was pretty accurate. My daughter was a big fan of the books, and she said it's the most accurate thing. So, and SpongeBob doing that. We what we do in the shadows. All ones that probably make sense as it leads up to Deadpool. But then what we do is we hit to Friday, Mike. We get to Friday, and we get the boys. There's going to have a panel. And that's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Showrunner and executive producer Eric Kripke will join the stars of The Boys for a post-season finale celebration. Attendees will be able to hear from the cast and creator about the newly released fourth season, as well as gain inside scoop of behind-the-scenes secrets, favorite moments, and thrilling surprises. The celebrated series will begin making its Hall H debut at San Diego Comic-Con 2024. I can tell you, I'm surprised that you don't watch this show. I feel like this show is right up your alley.
I really tried the first season, and I just didn't get into it. I'll try again. I'm not liking the fact that I heard one of the actors is a POS in real life.
Oh.
To the people on set and the cast and crew. So
I didn't.
When I hear stuff like that, I think there's too many actors out there.
But how do you know it's true? You just hear. How do you know that's true?
How do you know it's not like?
How do you know it's true that's accurate?
You don't. But
yeah, but
you kind of hear multiple things from different shows about the same person. It kind of tracks.
All right. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
No one's come out to the person's defense going, "Hey."
Oh, has it been?
We work with them all the time. They're awesome.
Has that been public? This particular person?
What do you mean?
Is this a public thing or someone you heard from somebody that works?
No, it's been kind of an online.
So who is it? You can talk about this online.
What's up?
You can talk about it if it's been online. Who is it? I thought
Anthony
you heard.
Starr.
Oh, you heard that he's a turd?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard.
I heard the directors when they come on are kind of warned, like, "Hey, you gotta." Like, I guess one girl quit acting because it was the girl Maeve from the first season.
Oh,
or whatever.
Really? She quit
the show because she was like not working with him anymore, and she quit acting.
I never heard that. Never heard of this. First time hearing of this.
It was just one of the things that started spiraling. And again, people love the show, so they're not gonna. It'll be one of those things that a couple years from now, when the show's off the air, stuff will come out.
All right, fair enough. Well, it's like that. Either way, they're doing a panel, and they're doing it at 10 a.m. I think that this is a smart thing to do. And it lines up good enough because they just finished it. So I think that now that this show, the season finale, you're going to get a lot of the Boys fans there to see it. It's a good panel, good way to kick off Hall H. So I think that's smart to do that. Now, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens with this Lord of the Rings show panel. Because what's smart is that you get people in for the Boys. How many? I don't know what the fan base is for this show. Per Comic-Con's official website, join the series showrunners and the cast as they give a look into the highly anticipated second season. Is it highly anticipated?
I don't know. It seems like that first season came out and
it was a dud.
Do anything.
It was a dud. And it's not just from people
who. It's Lord of the Rings. Like, how do you mess that up?
Easily, because there was a lot going on with that show. There was some episodes I dug, and other episodes I was just like, what the hell are we doing here? And it was some predictable stuff, silly reveals. They need to change some stuff. Maybe that's the whole point, is to get some goodwill back. I don't know, but highly anticipated, I think, might be some hyperbole, Mike. I'm not sure, but either way, you got that panel. Josh Harwitz is hosting it. No, he's doing Into the Whoniverse. So per Comic-Con's official website, hop aboard the TARDIS with Doctor Who stars Nakutigawa and Millie Gibson, along with showrunner and writer Russell T. Davies, as they discuss the latest season and its game-changing finale episode, which aired on Disney and BBC iPlayer. Trio is also going to share behind-the-scenes stories, fan surprises, and a look, and a special sneak peek, moderated by Josh Harwitz. So that's a good one. Then The Walking Dead. They usually do a lot of shows on Friday. Then Walking Dead. Friday. Yeah, Walking Dead, Dead City hits. Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, back-to-back Walking Dead. And then Collider is doing their own thing. Collider's got directors on directing. Who's on this one? Antoine Fuqua. That's cool. And who's obviously done The Equalizer, Olympus Fallen, and the upcoming Michael Jackson. He's got Roland Emmerich. They discuss their work, challenges of production, and their dueling White House invasion. And Frosty's hosting that one. And then at 5:15, Alien Romulus. with Fede Alvarez and cast star members Kaylee Spaney, David Johnson, Archie Renault. Okay, so and then is that the last one? That's the last one on Friday, Mike. So I think that, as you said, pretty much the big TV day in general. So they'll be covering the TV stuff, and then Alien Romulus will be probably, I assume, the talk of the town for that particular day. It's an okay Friday.
Yeah, Romulus, I'm excited for that. Those two trailers,
Yeah,
that got me excited for that thing.
So I missed both trailers. And meaning that when it came out, I like to react to them right away.
Yeah.
And then if I'm gonna watch trailers in general, because I know I'm gonna see it. So I was like, I missed it. I'm excited to see it. I'm not gonna check it out. I want to go and I want to check out the movie, and I know nothing about it because I like Fede Alvarez a lot, and I like the idea. I like, from everything I'm hearing from people, how exciting it's going to be. So I think I'd probably even skip this. I would skip this Hall H thing if I was there. I was like, I don't want to know anything more. I don't want to know any more scenes. I just want to check it out. But I think for people who are, and most people are pumped about this one, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see. So I think that panel could get people even more hyped up because they'll probably show a couple of scenes and those things. Now, the boys, jumping back to that, I think what they're going to also do is, what I'm hearing is that the season, they already did hit season 4. Season 5 already, I think, is already shot or something. So they're going to start talking about that and probably show some stuff from season 5. I think maybe I might be making that up, but I thought that they have something coming up soon for that. And then Walking Dead has always been a big staple of. It's
always like a huge thing there.
Always.
I think people love to see the actors for that show because they're been with them for so long.
Yeah,
and
especially Norman Reedus.
To see the actors.
Norman Reedus could. What a gig! He gets had that thing since 2000.
Be what
2010. It debuted in
14 years by now, right?
2010
at least.
No, I remember vividly. 2010, Walking Dead debuted on AMC.
Yeah,
it was October of 2010, and he's had that role since, and he'll never have to work ever again.
I auditioned for that.
Did you really? What role?
Shane.
Did you really? How'd you do?
Bernthal. No, terrible. Probably.
Oh, okay.
No, again, I was 14 years younger. I was nowhere near the age, but originally was like a 30-something cop.
Did you get a callback?
I got like 2 tapes I sent in because they was shooting. It was in Atlanta, so I had to self-tape for it in Florida.
You're going to thank me for the new camera that you have. Your self-tape is going to be a lot better. Be a lot better.
Yeah, I remember that. That was one of the big ones that again, I think they saw every actor in the Southeast in that age. But still,
that's cool. Oh, that's right. When you auditioned, you were in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. It was that long ago.
Because they wouldn't say what it was, but I knew because I was a big fan of the comic at the time. Oh, this is Walking Dead.
That's amazing. Well, that's cool, man. Well, good. So Walking Dead is going to have a big presence, obviously that Friday. The boys, the Doctor Who thing. I never got into Doctor Who, but it has a very loyal fan base. I love that Josh Horowitz is doing it. So that'll be that guy can host the hell. He's a very good host, and he's asked very good questions. So that'll be entertaining for people to check out. And that's the majority, guys, of Friday. So then that gets us to the Saturday panel. And here we go. Hall H panel on Saturday, July 27th. Superman and Lois. Did you watch this show, Mike?
I started, and I loved it, but I never got around. It was still when it was on CW. And then it just was real busy time. And I think maybe the pandemic hit and I just kind of lost focus. But
people love this show.
The episodes I saw, I loved.
People love this show. People loved it.
I got to meet Bitsy Tulloch. One of my friends is an executive producer at Warner Brothers. Yeah. And at Comic-Con, we always go to dinner and she was there. And one of the sweetest people, like for me, a lot of times, like again, maybe with the boys, like when I meet actors and they are genuine and really kind to people that they don't know or can't do things for them. Especially in Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm on the same page.
They treat you like, oh, you're a fellow actor. Okay, they don't treat you like a status thing. So she won me over then with that.
Well, I had the interview for what's Tyler?
Tyler Hoechlin?
Yeah, So he came in on Collider Live. Him and Alexandra Daddario came in for a movie that they were doing together, and it was right before I think he got Superman or maybe he just got. I can't remember. Awesome dude, really nice.
He's very cool too.
Very nice guy. And was just down to earth, good dude. So yeah, you're right. I root for people like that. When I had watching Stranger Things, but one of the standouts of season 4 was Jamie Campbell Bower, and so I had an interview with him about a month ago, and I had never interviewed him or talked to him a day in my life. talk to him for about an hour, I'll be rooting for that guy every time.
You want success for people that just like are good people.
Good people. I root for this guy all the
good things happen to good people.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a Superman and Lois special video presentation. They're gonna, a Q&A. Panel's going to look a final first look into the series and reveal a special video presentation, followed by an exclusive Q&A with stars and producers who will be making their Comic-Con debut. The Q&As always scare me at Hall H because sometimes people aren't prepared, and it's not no one's fault. But like it just comes, it's just people get nervous, and it's not everybody is a great public speaker.
That is true.
It makes me nervous. Berserker. Now I wonder if Coy is going to be. If Coy hosted this panel last year, I wonder if he's going to be doing this. This is Keanu Reeves' comic, The Immortal Saga Unleashed, 12:30 to 1:30 per Comic-Con's official website. Since its record-breaking debut in 2021, Keanu Reeves' Berserker has been thrilling readers with the story of the half-mortal, half-god warrior as he battles through the ages, seeking answers to the mystery of his endless, blood-soaked existence and how to end it. The iconic Reeves and the original Berserker creative team discuss the journey and reveal new details on the future of the saga, a new novel, the upcoming Netflix live-action film, and special surprises. I'm excited for that one, Mike, because I always look forward to, when it comes to a comic like that, it's kind of brand new. It's something he's very passionate about. I love the idea of it. I mean, this is a guy who's got he's got magic behind him, because it feels like every few years he just creates something. He becomes more iconic with something else that he does. He does, whether it's when he starts out, he does Bill and Ted. Then that leads to Point Break, right? And then Point Break leads to Speed. And then Speed leads to Matrix. And then the Matrix leads to John Wick. And it's like, well, what's next? What's the next thing? Is it Berserker?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because he's a good dude.
I know another reason. It's true. Yes,
he's just a good dude.
Good person, right? Who doesn't root for Keanu Reeves?
People, the universe, every 5-10 years goes, here's something.
Here you go. Here's some more to show how great you are. Yeah, exactly. And so I root for it.
You made a great point. Like, he's been, he's not, like, I don't know if he's a megastar, would you say?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. But would you say, in the sense, it's interesting because
not that he's going to sell tickets.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he's so subdued about it. He doesn't seek it out.
No, it's just
he's just a working actor that gets these great iconic roles that the universe takes over.
Here the
world falls in love with.
And he created this one this time. He created this.
It's a great comic.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this one. So I hope that they get a little bit more, and I hope that there's a trailer or something. I don't even know if they're even doing it yet. I have no idea, but I want to know more about that one. I'm excited about Berserker. The Star Trek universe. This is something that'll always play. It's been going on forever. The fan favorite Star Trek Universe panel is going to show exclusive back-to-back conversations with cast and producers of Strange New Worlds. People love that. Star Trek Lower Decks.
That is a good show.
Do you? Okay. Star Trek Starfleet Academy and Star Trek Section 31, plus plenty of new reveals, exciting surprises. Are you? Are you a Star Trek person?
I enjoy it, but I'm not. I do enjoy like
when it's good. When it's
great.
Okay, so like when it's good. It's good. You're not seeking it out, but if it's good, you're going to watch it. And
I never watched Discovery. I didn't watch Picard.
Got it. But this one, everyone talks about how good this is.
But it was something kind of new, and I like the character of Captain Pike.
Yeah, that'll pack out. That'll pack out. People. I mean, Star Trek
always does.
It has legions of fans, especially at Comic-Con. It's like it's like.
I will say this: I think for Star Trek, it's amazing how they fumbled the Abrams cast. Like.
Yeah.
How we're not 6 films into that universe?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe the returns
was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, the returns weren't
reinvigorated Trek.
I know what.
And the cast just
they said they're going to do another one, but who knows? They've been saying that for years. Okay, now this is where it gets. This is the meat. This is the best part of Comic-Con is for the next 2 panels here, and that's the first one is the Penguin panel. Now that's at 4:45, and that is till 5:45. Per Comic-Con's official website, the HBO original limited series from Warner Brothers Television and DC Studios continues Matt Reeves' The Batman epic crime saga and centers on the character played by Colin Farrell in the film. Series debuts on HBO in September. Panels include Colin Farrell, who will be virtually, Kristen Milioti, Renzi Feliz, Matt Reeves, Lauren LaFranc, and Dylan Clark. Mike, I'm sure you are already hyped for this one. I was already hyped for it. I saw the trailer. I have watched the trailers for this. This to me, if some, if they, and the official people haven't even been saying this, but if they were out there saying this is the Sopranos of the DC universe, and I saw this trailer, I go, well, that's what it looks like. Lucasfilm was saying that Sopranos or Godfather rather was Boba Fett, and I was like, that's like calling son-in-law the next Godfather. So no world was that even close to a gangster movie, but this series looks intense. It looks like it's adding to the legacy of HBO stuff. Yeah. Colin Farrell is unrecognizable in the best way. I am so excited for this series. It's one of my most anticipated pieces of media coming out. I would absolutely go to this panel to learn more about it. I've seen trailers already, so I'd want to see more scenes. I'd want to see how it's going to continue into the legacy of this show and how it's going to continue into the DC Reeves universe. But I'm assuming because you loved the Batman, right?
I did, yeah.
Loved it. So what are you thinking about this series?
I think it's going to be phenomenal. I'm in a weird place with this section of DC because there's been so much delays on the Batman 2.
Yeah.
And the Reeves gun stuff is really pushing forward, and I had said somewhere once, and I'll eat my foot if I'm wrong on this. I don't know if the second Pattinson Batman movie happens.
Oh, it'll definitely happen.
Okay.
Definitely.
I mean, we're now going to be 5 years almost since the first film came out. That's a huge amount of time.
I know it is, but they're going to do it.
And this TV series is supposed to end and go right into Batman 2. So if you have this show end in October, it's going to end.
They'll probably do season 2 of this show
before we get to Batman.
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah, because you can make.
And in that time, Gunn's universe could take off.
Yeah.
They could be clamoring for a new Batman.
Yeah, they probably will be. That's what I like.
It's a tough thing, man.
It is. I don't disagree.
Tough spot.
I don't disagree, but I think they have a contract with Reeves already. He's already working on it. You want to do a Roca bet? You want to now we're recording?
No, because I'm trying to ignore the tea leaves because I really want the Batman 2 to happen.
So you don't want to vote. You don't want to root against it because you want it to happen.
Because I do want it to happen. I'm just seeing all the things like didn't Matt Reeves take a new project on?
I'm not sure, but I think
something outside of DC. He took a new project on.
I don't know, but maybe. But
I'm just seeing all these things.
It'll happen, dude. It'll happen because Pattinson's also young enough that he can still.
Sure, I don't disagree.
How old is he? How old is he? 35.
Like again, the movie did well.
Yeah,
$700 million.
Yeah,
it didn't destroy like it. Again, it was kind of
good. It was a longer, darker movie. It was like a
right, and I think. Me personally, I'm fine with 2 Batman movies out there.
Well, look at the Joker.
I know how the feeling of the world is.
Look at the Joker. The Joker came out in 2018, 2019? It's 5 years later.
That was a phenomenon, though. That thing.
But it came.
You tell me you asked me, no, in no world does that make $1 billion. And I was like,
that's. And
the second one, I think, will make $1 billion too.
But that's my point. My point is that it's been 5 years since that movie.
Right, but also. It's Joker. It's that Joker. It's Batman. It's.
I know, and there might be another Batman at that same time, but I think because it's Matt Reeves.
If you have Pattinson show up in this as Batman,
he's going to. They already said he's going to show up.
I don't know if it's been officially confirmed.
Okay, I think he's going to.
But if he does that, he shows up and they do a season 2 and he pops in that, then I'll be more inclined to go. Okay, we're going for it.
Fair enough. But the fact that it's been 5 years. But overall, this series you're excited for. You're going to be watching this week to week.
Of course.
I'm so excited.
If this would have been a Pattinson film every 3 years with a season of this in between,
sure.
They would be knocking out of the park.
Yeah, and I think that the DC universe, the gun thing, obviously has a lot to do with that.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Reeves, I think the Arkham show got canceled.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
So I was kind of like,
yeah, but
that was supposed to be set in the Reeves universe. That got canceled. I was like,
well, also let them see what kind of success they have with the Penguin series.
I get it, man. I'm rooting for it. Rooting for it.
I think we're in good shape because I am very excited for the Penguin series. It looks so good. Colin Farrell is one of my favorite actors of all time. I know people respect him, and I know people always talk highly of him, but I think he's one of the most underrated actors out there.
I love to see. I saw it was a behind the scenes interview, like I think during Minority Report. And just to see how much he's changed, like as a person.
Yeah.
He was kind of that cocky Irish guy, like young punkish.
Yeah, he was thrown into here's your next big movie star.
But also, they really wanted him to be this handsome, classic leading man, and he's such a character actor.
He really is.
My favorite role he's ever done
Let
outside
me,
of the Penguin.
let me tell you. Don't say it because I think
All right.
we're probably on the same page. Saving Mr. Banks.
What?
The one oh no, not that
No.
one. Have you ever seen him in that one?
Are you joking?
No, he should have
No.
he should have been nominated.
The Gentleman.
Oh, he's great in the gentleman. He
Dude.
plays Bobby Finstock.
But yeah, I know, with that tracksuit.
Yeah, he plays Dagnino. Yeah.
Dude, when he beats the hell of those guys in that
Oh, he's
sandwich
great.
shop.
No, just watch
Like-
it. It's Saving Mr. Banks. Watch.
Or, well, I guess Horrible Bosses.
He's good in that too. But I'm telling you, Saving Mr. Banks was.
I saw that.
He was, but the movie's fine. He was. I interviewed him at Fandango, and he came in. And I said, you should have been nominated for that role. You absolutely should have been nominated for that role.
He to me is like Chris Pine. He is a character actor trapped in a leading man's body.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
He's great.
To
But
let himself lose himself in that penguin makeup and take no ego in it.
It's incredible. All right, so then we ended with Marvel Studios. Per Comic-Con's official website, Marvel Studios president, producer Kevin Feige, and special guests provide an inside look at the ever-expanding Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Coy, myself, and Winston kind of dive into this on Friday's episode, which will air on Friday, obviously. And one of the things that we talk about is what we think that they're going to show. And
Yeah,
I
got thoughts.
And I'd love to hear them, but I think that what it is, and I think Coy says it, and he's right. They're not going to do TV at this. TV is going to be saved for D23 because D23 is in like a month. So if you put everything out there and you give Daredevil and Agatha and all that stuff and you put all of it in this, then what the hell are you going to show? A, what the hell are you going to show at D23? And B, how are you going to cover all that in an hour? You can in an hour if
Is it a 1 hour panel?
It's a 1 hour panel. So if you're ready, you don't need to cover Deadpool now because Deadpool you're doing on Thursday. So Deadpool you got covered. You've done Deadpool. You can talk about it real quick. Hey, Deadpool is out.
They won't keep Reynolds and Jackman there either for 3 days.
You do it on Thursday.
They've got press to do.
You nailed it. They show the screening of it. It's the talk of the town on the night it comes out, and then they can talk about how successful it is on Saturday when it's already open. Why spend the time on it? You show Captain America. You show that whether it's a trailer, then you show some.
I think they'll show a scene from it.
I think they'll definitely show some exclusive footage from it that just that audience will get, and that's what Hall H should get. They should get exclusive stuff. Then I think that they'll show something from
Thunderbolts,
and
I think we'll get the first look at it.
Yeah, and I think that
the cast,
and that might actually hit the internet. You might actually get
I think so.
The first teaser that will come out on Saturday of that movie, and then they'll probably see another extended thing that's just intended for them. You'll probably have
hey, we're filming. This is just for you guys.
Yep, Fantastic Four cast will probably come out
100%.
Yeah, because they start shooting on Monday.
We don't know who Doom is yet, do we?
No.
They announced Doom there.
You think they're going to reveal Doom?
I think they dropped Doom, and Kang.
Interesting.
I think the final thing will be.
That's not final because I think they're going to announce. I think they're going to announce the Russo brothers officially for.
Oh, do you think they'll come out for that?
Yeah. Oh well, at least announce them. They'll at least announce. They're going to talk about.
That would go hand in hand with announcing Kang.
Maybe so. Maybe they announce that stuff and
that closes it.
Well, yeah. They're going to Fantastic Four because Well, do they even mention Blade? Because Blade's supposed to come out. It's supposed to come out in November.
That's why Feige was out there going. We know the script. We know we announced it a long time ago. We're just trying to get it right.
Because November it's supposed to come out. I don't know if it's going to.
You think it's hitting it?
No.
Come on now, sir.
No world.
I've said this, and I'll stick by this. I don't think that movie happens. I think he stays as Blade and pops up like in Midnight Suns or something, but I don't think that movie happens.
I think that if it doesn't happen, well, the big reveal that they could have, which is I would put $1 on it just to see if I could make 1,000 off of it, was that if they announce Jordan Peele directing it, right? If they have Jordan Peele directing that movie,
he's not doing it.
No, I know. But if they do, if they have him, and then that movie will happen, and it'll happen fast.
They need to get a script first before they get directed.
I agree with you. I agree. But if it doesn't happen again, if it falls apart again, give Mahershala Ali a different role in the MCU.
I'm just going to say this. Because if you look, and this is my theory for this, 5 years ago at Comic-Con, he was announced.
5 years, I know.
Years ago.
I know.
And this is Blade.
He's
it's
40,
not like the Fantastic
he's 50
Four.
years old. Yeah.
It's a guy that kills vampires. That's it. and you can't get this right. And then think of how many times, the industry, how many times they probably like, all right, we're filming. This is the chunk of movies at the time, these months.
Yeah.
How many offers he's turned down.
Of course.
And then like, sorry. And then look what they did. His agent went like, nope, we got to get you a franchise. We got you Jurassic Park.
Right.
And now he's in Jurassic Park.
Right.
He is either fed up with this.
Of course he is.
Think of how many, and I'm thinking in this past 5 years, and I know he's done stuff, but he was on the rise, and you have not really seen him for 5 years.
Yeah.
What movies he done in 5 years?
No, he did that. He did that Netflix movie that did very well with Julia Roberts.
I couldn't even tell you the name of it.
I don't remember the name of it either.
But he should be on marquees for movie theaters.
But it was one of the biggest streaming movies of all time. And
the movie with the apocalypse thing.
Yeah, it was the dude from iRobot, Sam Ismail.
This guy should have been a bigger
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just telling you that you asked me what he did, and I just told you.
And I'm just saying his team was like, dude,
let's
Marvel's fucking us over. We got to go.
Yeah, well, I think if it doesn't go through again, you give him a role in the MCU, something big. But for him, and for the fact that if you want Blade to stick around for a while, if the movie's not going to get made until 2027, 2028, you got to get somebody younger. You got it.
I don't agree to that.
Right. I'm talking about today, you can have Mahershala Ali, but if you're going to stick this guy around, he's in his 50s.
He doesn't look it.
It doesn't matter if he looks it. Like,
but what does the age mean? But what does the age mean?
If you want to stick him around for 10 years, you're going to have a 60-year-old Blade eventually. And if you want to do it that way, sure. But I'm saying is that
you go, okay, knows he's getting on in age. He needs to continue this thing. We're going to bring a new vampire hunter in. We train a new.
I know, but I mean,
prodigy.
I would give him a better, a juicier role if you're going to screw the guy over again.
I think the ship has sailed for him, and he's out.
Maybe, but either way,
I think
we'll see if they even mention it. But now, do they mention any other new projects, or you think no? Because you stick to Avengers. You stick to everything.
I think they've
else.
realized that announcing 20 films, and we haven't hit it. Like, I think they realized, we're not going to do that anymore. Let's hype what we know we've got in the pike ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Blade's a perfect example.
Right. Well, when I think about all this, what comes out though, because normally at Comic-Con, while you look at before the pandemic, the news was huge coming out of Comic-Con, and some of the trailers that pop are huge. What's the big news of, well, I guess A, the Marvel panel, and B, in general, I would say that a Thunderbolts trailer would be kind of the talk of it, unless, like you said, they announce the new Kang, they announce the Russos officially, and they do like one other big announcement for Marvel. But then the other news of big stuff that's going to come out is nothing that we've covered thus far that makes me go, whoa, that's really taking over the news cycle.
I think Deadpool Wolverine will just dominate the convention.
Yeah, maybe.
It's going to be the talk of everyone's going to, like, I'm seeing it Friday morning.
Okay. Are you seeing it Friday morning in San Diego?
Yeah, there's a theater that we got tickets to see Friday morning, like 9 in the morning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and a lot of people will do that. And it's going to be prevalent throughout the thing, and people talking about it. It'll be really kind of cool. I think Marvel kind of shot their load so far in advance, like with the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Like, we know what's eventually coming.
Right.
Like, part of me is kind of like, well, Dylan, like, you could probably attest this, and you don't have to answer it. Like, I thought maybe there was a reveal in Deadpool Wolverine where they'll finally bring that person on stage saying, here's so-and-so going forward for the X-Men.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want to say, don't tell us, because that was my thing. Like, they might bring that person out.
Sure.
They did that one, I think it was the last, maybe it was 2019, where they did the multiverse, the mutant saga, and they did Born Again. They did like 6 years, like 3 or 4 years of timeline.
Yeah, they can't do that again.
You can't do that.
The only thing that I could see them potentially doing, but it is doubtful because of everything that you just said, and I agree with, that the only big reveal that I could see, like, wow, I didn't see that coming, was that they actually announce when the first X-Men movie is coming. But I think that's at least a year.
Try and get Secret Wars done.
I think you're right. I think
Doom and Kang. Doom and Kang. One of those two are both big, because everyone's waiting on Doom. They know the Fantastic Four is there. They know they got the entire cast.
You know what I know you said Doom, but one of the things that I'm surprised that I'm sure that
Sisters of
I'm surprised that the Dune series doesn't. I'm sure it has something at Comic-Con, but I don't
ever remember the last one having anything.
The movie? Well,
the second one.
Well,
They
but
didn't have anything
it was
last year. I don't
yeah, it was
remember.
pandemic stuff. Last year they didn't do anything because of the strike.
writers. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're
So
right. You're
so
right.
they haven't had a chance to really do it. But that series, the Benny Jesuit stuff looks great, and I'm like
Oh,
I want to.
no, sir.
Yeah, not
for
for
me.
you, but for me, that's another one for me. I can't wait to see it. So I'm curious if they're gonna why. There's some stuff we read that's in Hall H. I'm like, really? Oh wait, there was something else. When was? Oh, okay, that's not the last thing, by the way. And then at 7:30, which always is something that happens at every Comic-Con. It's a staple now. Kevin Smith has his panel from 7:30 to 9 p.m. So he always does that, and he always that's a tradition for Kevin Smith to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, that's it, Mike. So what time you're getting on the road as soon as we're done, right?
I'm leaving as soon as we're done. My guy's coming to pick me up in like 5 minutes. I'm out of here.
All right.
I'm out, champ.
All right. So what can they do? Are you going to be posting statuses?
Yeah, I'll post
and things?
stuff all throughout the weekend
All right. So they can follow you where?
at Mike Kalinowski.
All right, Mike. Get the hell out of here. Thank you to Mike
Shut your
Kalinowski.
mouth.
Thank you guys for being here on the show. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Anything that is coming out of Comic-Con, I'm going to be doing some updates over the weekend, so make sure you follow the channel on the socials, on all of that. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. We will be back tomorrow on the Thursday show with Roxy and Brett, and then Friday, Coy and Winston. We did a little pre-tape, and then Monday, the Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler conversation. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Mike Kalinowski. See you on the flip side. Bye.